When it comes to Magic cards, you never know what somebody's going to go after. That's why you tune into my channel, to find out which are the most desired cards every week on the Hot 10, to find out which cards players really want. Never a dull moment in Magic, falling prices and excited players. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here, and thanks a lot for hanging out with me today on the channel. Looking forward to reading your comments in the comments section below, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And of course, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's a great way to help the channel grow. So on today's video, we are looking at the Hot 10. These are the hottest selling Magic cards this week, at least. I would say the whole world, but it's at least this week out of all the cards I could cover. A lot of things have changed up this week, with a lot of cards shifting position as players are moving into these new cheaper cards on the market, very affordable prices for a lot of cards out there. And the list is pretty exciting this week, and I can't wait to share the results with you of adding all this craziness up this week, with of course Dominaria United spoilers hitting the battlefield, and people will start turning their attention away to the next new hot thing. So let's just get right to this. Let's jump into it. Let's check out what the hottest selling cards were in Magic this week, because this is the Hot 10. Ledger Shredder comes in at number 10 this week from Streets of New Capenna. Now, Ledger Shredder has had continued strong growth due to its playability. Being used in decks like Azorius Magecraft, Izzet Dragons, Mono Blue Delver has resulted in this card having stronger sales and making it back onto the top 10. With this kind of performance, I'm not surprised. Ledger Shredder was brutal when it first came out. Everyone saw the potential uses, and this card is going to continue to see sales. Maybe not on my top 10, but you know what? It's going to get there, because players are going to keep using this for the next, 18 months still. It's going to have a lot of uses, and it's going to find homes in decks like Commander and other formats. It's still played all over the place when you see it on Arena as well. Keep that card in mind. It's going to have good, continued, strong growth in its financial side. It's not going to dip anymore. It's already settled in. This is what the price is going to be, and a lot of players will enjoy that, knowing it's got a firm financial return. Now, our next card this week is going to be Unearth, another highly usable card that at this low price rate, people are picking up various copies. Now, the copy I'm showing you right now, of course, is the Borderless version from Double Masters 2022, but a surprising number of original copies are now selling as well. They're not making the top 10. They're a little bit more difficult to come by, but they are selling. With all these cards being used right now, I'm surprised this card hasn't really climbed in price. With just the sheer volume it's sold in the last 4 weeks alone has been mind-boggling to add up every single week, and this thing is still in the Hot 10 right now. An amazing card. I mean, I would tell you to pick some up, but chances are you already have. Now, the number 8 card this week is Damnation, the Borderless edition. 854 sales this week. Again, that price is really settling in nicely. It's been over the 30-day mark. There's not much dropping in the price now, and we can see what the market is going to absorb in the secondary market over the next 60 days. With new sets like Dominaria United coming out, though, there might be a bit of a lagging sales as Dominaria cards start finding its way into the Hot 10. There's always that disruption before cards like this make their way back onto my Hot 10 about 30 days after a new release comes out. You never know what's going to happen with the switch up. But Damnation is definitely a beautiful card. The artwork is epic. A lot of players prefer it to the older artwork. It just has that kind of creepy, Netherworld, devilish vibe. I mean, I can see why players really enjoy this card. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our next one this week, and that is number 7, Arid Mesa Modern Horizons 2. All of the fetch lands are having an uptick in sales, and this is due to the fact the card is so underpriced right now, so undervalued, that a lot of players are taking advantage of it and grabbing extra copies whenever they get the opportunity. I've seen players drop a whole bunch of bulk kind of rares and a few mythics they didn't care about, and just pick up a couple of play sets of various fetch lands. Because at this price range, everyone's taking advantage of the good deal. I also think there'll be a good chance that Wizards will delay printing these again to allow them to gain more value in the secondary market, to let the market absorb what's already out there. They don't want to kill the golden goose as much as players may think they do. They need value. They need collectability in the secondary market to make sure we want to keep getting these cards. So if you guys have them already, congratulations. If you're buying them now, even better, because you're taking advantage of the best situation you could. Huge amounts of overstock and a really low price that will turn around in the future. What a great card. I myself picked up an extra play set. I figured why not, right? Actually, a couple play sets of various ones, but that's where we're at right now. Now, our number 6 card this week is the Archivist of You-Know-Who. I can't ever pronounce that, so I don't even try. Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate. 952 sales this week. Now, you look at this card and you realize its price is really bottomed out. It's a highly versatile card that is seeing quite a bit of play in the Commander playgroups. When we take a closer look at the card, remember, letting this thing with just a static ability of whatever opponent searches the library, gaining a life and drawing a card is kind of a crazy thing to have happen already. And a lot of decks do rely on searching through libraries. So this is just one of those crazy cards that fits in beautifully. And it's underrated in its value right now, which is better for everyone who still wants to get a copy. Being affordable is important. Being able to get your copy when you need to is also important when you're doing your deck construction. Now, the number 5 card this week, surprisingly, is Boziju Who Endures, coming back into the list. 983 sales this week. Now, Boziju will have continued play use outside of its standard format and what they've got right now in Arena with like Brawl and stuff. This is going to have uses going forward. I'm not even going to mention things like Alchemy. I mean, Pioneer will play. There's going to be decks playing this. And then it'll find itself in Eternal format, things the casual ones like EDH, Kitchen Table Magic. This card, I still think it's kind of weird how it's going to play out. I want to see the rest of the sets for the year. I still have fears of this card possibly being banned if something broken happens to it. But right now it seems very level-headed. I'm not seeing it everywhere in every deck. So that's good. That just means it has a nice even keel to it. So maybe I'm just wrong and we get to enjoy this card for a very long time. But when this card rotates out, I still expect this value to go up. Let's go ahead and take a look at the number 4 card this week. Now this is Takenuma, Abandoned Mire, Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. Now financially this card is a great playable card. It's solid. It's going to stay at the $5 to $10 level probably for quite a while. 998 sales is very respectable. But with all these cards I'm showing you, Boziju, Takenuma, remember even the Seed of the Empire, they're all kind of being left alone right now, which is probably why we're seeing this massive uptick in sales. The prices have come down, making them more affordable for people to grab. Some of them have drifted up ever so slightly, but this is that little bit of time that players have before the next set comes out, before they get distracted by Dominaria United and other products that Wizards is putting out still this year. I mean, what, we got Jumpstart 2022, we still got the Brothers War, is Infinity in there still? I mean, you know, this is crazy stuff coming. This is going to be very interesting to watch this all unfold. But later on, when players actually start playing things and start building decks, cards like Takenuma, Boziju, these are cards they're going to be seeking out and desiring for decks. That is why you're seeing some people now start to hoard these cards in multiples so they can resell them on the secondary market when, you know, the financial side of it is more favorable. It's just what people would do. I would do it no differently. Now our next card, Otawara the Soaring City. This is starting to have an uptick in its price. A lot of copies have been selling, 1,026 this week alone. And that uptick you're seeing right at the end of the grid sheet there is because so many copies sold in the last few days. It's been kind of insane. I mean, I expected this card to still keep around the 600 sale mark, but a lot of people took notice last week. I have mentioned this card in a couple of videos. Again, it's just like Boziju. It's going to find so many uses. I remember buying copies at release for like $4 each. And by the way, it is this particular copy, the basic copy, that is selling the most, okay? There are the other full bordered and full bordered extended art foil, and there's some fancy versions that'll go for quite a bit more money. Those are not the ones players are going after because, as we all know, there's only a certain amount of people that can afford the highest priced products. Most people are going to go for the cheapest one they can afford, and that will be this one. When this one starts to go up, the more expensive ones go up as well. Like they get risen up with the tide. They get dragged up there. So this one will be the cheapest copy available, and that's the one that people will go after. I know it's the one I bought as well. I just went for 4 of it right away, so I didn't even have to think about it for the future. Now, I've bought extra copies since then, but at the same time, how many copies does somebody need? Usually at least a playset. And we all know right now, Kamigawa Neon Dynasty is not really being opened a lot. Let's go ahead and take a look at the number 2 card this week. And that is going to be a card I didn't expect to see here. That's Malakar Rebirth, and that's Zendikar Rising. Now, 1,194 sales. This card's less than $5. It's very affordable, cheap even, right? Like this set's rotating out, right? We've got opportunity here. When you take a look at it, a lot of players have been using this in Arena and finding a lot of success because it says choose a target creature, and it's an instant, don't forget. Choose target creature. You lose 2 life, but until the end of your turn, the creature gains when this creature dies, returns to the battlefield. I have seen this card used effectively with things like Xander, right? Like, when he dies, that effect happens, and now it triggers again because you're going to bring him back. So he triggers when he comes back into play, and he triggers again if he dies. So it's like a multiple effect thing for 1. That combo I've seen used effectively a few times. I can only imagine what other people are doing. I've seen them just saving creatures sometimes. But the fact you can also have this come into play as a tapped land lets you know this card has value, and it probably won't see a reprint anytime soon. So I think we're going to see a card like this actually continue to gain in value slowly if players continue to use it and put it into their decks. You're going to see the deck construction go up. People always appreciate a card that's on the winning side of things, and that means it's visual. People are going to see it more in play, so they're going to say, hey, look how much this card's being played. It's got to be a hit. I better pick up a playset before it gets too expensive. That's where people are going to go. Now, you've waited long enough. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the number 1 card this week, and it is still Path to Exile with 1,293 sales this week. Guys, people asked me about this card last week. Path to Exile is one of those cards that always seems to hang around the $2 to $4 mark, and it just seems to sit there all the time no matter how much they reprint it. This is one of those cards people buy, and they don't generally just like trade it in. They keep it because they're always going to shove it into another deck, and they don't want to do, deck deconstruction, take things apart, double unsleeve things. Players get lazy. They like to have whatever cards they need on hand. They don't like unsleeving things and tearing decks apart unless they absolutely have to. So a card like this does, people hold on to it. When they hold on to it like that, the value gets retained within the card. I'm sure lots of us have tons of copies of this sitting around, and none of us are really trading them in or holding on to cards like this. So when you just take a look at this on the financial side of things, a lot of these cards will have high desirability for players to play with and enjoy. Not all of them are going to be super expensive cards, but going forward, how many of these cards are going to find homes in other formats? Because that is what the financial side people are looking for. Those flippers and investors are diving into these cards and holding on to them long term. I've bought multiple playsets of quite a few cards on this list to hold for myself in case it does become favorable, and they were so cheap, why would I not do it? Of course I'm going to hold on to a couple of playsets. If things go my way and the value goes up, you can see what I mean. It's going for a lot of players that way. Anyone with a few extra bucks, Otawara, you can spend $30 and get yourself 4 copies. Takenuma, the Abandoned Mire, you can spend, $4? Spend $20 and get a playset of 4. Pretty crazy stuff right now. These are very affordable prices. We'll see what happens in the next little while and see if these cards trend upward, or even if they hang in on the top 10. Only so many players pay attention to this stuff and desire these cards in the aftermarket, but it does happen. So thanks a lot for tuning in today. Thanks a lot for hanging out with me on the channel and making it to the end of the video. I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Have an awesome day wherever you are in the world of Magic, because it's a great game. Guys, this is a special thank you to all the fantastic patrons on my channel. I so enjoy conversating with you guys, talking on the Discord, passing emails. You know what? It's something special. Thank you. Hey guys, thanks a lot for hanging out and making it to the end of the video. I hope you're all having a fantastic day wherever you guys are. Maybe you're chilling out with a family. Maybe you're just doing some chores. Maybe you're kicking back with a coffee watching me right now. I'm lucky enough to get to talk to you guys each and every day and have these conversations and talk about a game I love. And that's amazing. So I just want to say a little special thank you to everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out to the end of the videos. It's really one of those great things I get to do, and I really enjoy doing it. So thanks again, everyone. I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow for the Hot 10, reserve list edition. So have an awesome day, guys. I'll see you soon.